Whoops. Right, good morning. Going live on Saturday, the 26th of April, into lockdown, about 1 month into lockdown now. So this morning's Pilates session will get you moving to maintain your flexibility, mobility and strength. So we're looking just to maintain rather than increase vastly. So just work at the level that works for you. Make sure that if you feel any dizziness, sickness or pain or unwell in any way, please listen to your body and stop what you're doing. Either reset yourself and have another go, or just take time out. Do whatever you need to do to keep yourself fit and healthy and safe. So let's make a start. Just hopefully you can see all of me. I'm just going to turn this down a little bit. Well done for joining me on a Saturday morning, although Saturdays are pretty much like every other day of the week now, aren't they? But, you know, anyway, good. Kudos for that. So let's start. Feet together. And then we're going to think about zipping up through the thighs, zipping up through the tummy as if you are pulling on some jeans that are a little bit too tight. So we're pulling in through the core. If you are a complete beginner to Pilates, I've got 4 videos that I've created as a set. They go 1, 2, 3, 4, progressively introducing different concepts about Pilates. So please go and watch those. I'm pointing as if I'm going to put a link there. I'm not. But anyway, that's what they do. So I'll stop waffling. God, shut up, Lucy. Right, feet together. We're going to turn those toes out like a ballerina, followed by your heels. And you're going to find that your feet are parallel when you look down. If they're not, we're going to make them parallel so that your knees are facing forwards as well. So we've got that perfect foundation to start with. Then we'll build up the rest of the body in a nice Pilates posture. And we're going to do that now. So keep those knees gently softened. So we're not locking them out. We're just going to do some pelvic tilts so that we find that neutral spine. So we tuck the bottom under. And then we push the tailbone out behind. So you're arching through the back. And then you're tucking under through the bottom, through the tailbone. And we go through those 2 extremes of movement. The upper body is staying nice and fixed and neutral. And we've all got our own different range of movement, so just working with yours. Some people find this actually quite difficult to do. They haven't got that connection yet, so keep persevering. If you find you've got very little movement, persevere, you will get it. And we'll also be doing this lying down, so you might find that easier to connect that way. So let's find that midpoint now. We should have a nice neutral spine. We're going to grow nice and tall now out of the crown of the head. So really float that head up towards the ceiling. Feel like your ears are being pulled down. And then we're going to draw the shoulders up towards your ears. Press them behind you. And again, draw them down as if you're trying to slide them into some back pockets on your jeans, imaginary jeans. So we're going to draw that pelvic floor up about 30%. So it's a nice breath in. And as you exhale, we pull that belly button in towards the spine. So we've got a real good connection here between in your TBA, your transversus abdominis, deepest stabilizing muscles. And we breathe into the side of the rib cage now. Nice deep breath in through the nose. And as you exhale, I want you to pull up and pull in so that you are finding that deep connection through the core. So this is the core, the powerhouse, your center. I'll refer to all of those things. I might say pull up and pull in. So we're pulling up the pelvic floor, we're pulling in through the tummy. So practicing your breathing still. Deep breath in through the nose, exhale through the mouth, we pull up and pull in. Perfect. Let's do another couple of breaths. So just think about how you're feeling this morning. Just get that connection between your mind and your body. Be aware of any imbalances or any areas that might need attention. Let's mobilize the body next. So it's a breath in. And as you exhale, we'll just look over one shoulder. Come back to the center. Exhale to look over the other shoulder. Keep that chin parallel to the floor as you turn the head. I see a lot of sort of dipping or lifting, but we really want to pretend that we are lighthouses as you scan the horizon. And it's an ear to a shoulder. Yes, you can open it, Freya. Sorry, just had the postman. I know what it is. Life in lockdown still goes on. Let's do one more on each side. Come back to the middle. We can roll those shoulders next. So just mobilizing those shoulders. Fingertips on your shoulders to do elbow circles or just increase that range of movement. And we're going to squeeze those shoulder blades together. Stay nice and soft through the ribs, neutral through the spine. Let's change direction. Last one. We can gently rest those hands down by your side. So we're going to aim to keep those hips facing forwards now as it's a breath in. And as you exhale, just draw yourself around to the side. If you have osteoporosis or anything that compromises the bones in your spine, you might suffer from fractures. Don't do any twisting. Don't do any forward bending. So I'll try to remind you if you are taking part, but you might want to actually do a search for an osteoporosis-friendly Pilates class, because osteoporosis and Pilates don't always go together hand in hand. It's not impossible, but you need to do a lot of modifications. So let's just free that movement up. Spiraling from your toes to the top of your head, swinging those arms around to get the blood flowing. Then we're going to gently reduce that movement until we come back to the center point, evenly weighted over both feet, knees and hips lined up. And we're going to pull in through the tummy. And it's a breath in and we're going to bring one arm up towards the ceiling. And a breath in, we bring the other arm up towards the ceiling. Now pull in through the tummy. Inhale, exhale. We're just going to lengthen over to one side. So try to reach the corner of your room up there. So we're lengthening and bending. And then we're just going to let that arm drop, the outer arm drop down. Turn the palm to face away from you, still pulling in through the tummy. And then we're just going to slowly squeeze that arm back up. And then you get the feeling that you're holding a beach ball overhead. And then you draw yourself back up to the center. Let's take it over to the other side. So pulling in through the tummy as we exhale. Reaching up to the other corner. Still pulling in and pulling up when we lower that outside arm. Turn the palm to face away from you and start to lift up. Keep pulling in through the tummy. You can feel the core having to fire up. We've got that beach ball between the arms. Draw yourself back up to the middle. Grab hold of a couple of imaginary ropes now, and we're just going to draw those ropes down. Keep the elbows wide. Resist against that movement as you bring your elbows into your side and lower the hands down. Brilliant. So we're going to keep now the Pilates box, your spine, your torso, nice and stable while we mobilize through that hip joint. So you can do this with a bent leg. So we're just working that hip joint while keeping the pelvis nice and stable. Or you can do it with a straight leg. I'm just going to move over here a little bit, get a bit more space. So nice and stable through the torso. Good pull up and pull in. Imagine you're zipping up those jeans. They're a little bit too tight. And you're still using the breath to help you keep that stability, that nice corset engaged around you. Let's change direction of those circles. Excuse me. Last one, to leave that leg out behind. So really extend it out behind you as we tip forwards from the hip, and it's a lift and a tap. Or you keep that leg hovered and then just pulse it. Good pulling through the tummy, so there's no movement through that upper body. And think about your neck being stuck on top of your spine. If you're looking forwards like that, you've got a bit of a kink in it, so we don't want that. So just think of it as an extension of the spine. And we're going to bring that knee to the front, rotate the ankle one way, change direction, and then we're going to lower down onto the floor. We'll do the same on the other side. So again, just make sure you've got that room around you. You're not going to kick anything over. Nice pull up and pull in. Spine stays neutral. This supporting leg wants to be gently softened, just so it's not locked out. Anyone with hypermobility, you definitely don't want to be locking out those joints. So just be aware of that. And we can change the direction of those circles. And again, you've got the option to do it with a bent leg or a straight leg. And we're going to leave that foot out behind and then gently tip. Oh, says my connection. Sorry about that if we lost connection there. Probably my daughter sucking up the internet. So let's just gently tip forward. So we've got that nice straight diagonal line, and we lift and tap, or we keep that leg hovered and pulse it. And then we're going to bring that knee to the front, rotate the ankle one way, lifting it up so you can see what I'm doing. You don't need to lift your leg quite so high. Up to you. Change direction. And we can lower down. Fabulous. We're going to do a balance next. Let's do our aeroplane balance. We're going to do our moving aeroplane balance. So we'll start with hands in prayer position, and then we draw up one knee. And it's a breath in. And as you exhale, extend the arms and the leg in front of you. And then we open up through those arms. Keep the shoulders down away from your ears. And that foot is going to carry on behind you. And when we're here, we're going to pull up, pull in, and start tipping forwards and lengthening through the limbs. Think about the neck being an extension of the spine. And just come forward as far as you're able to. So you might just want to stop here and lengthen those limbs away. Or you might want to tip forwards a little bit more and lengthen. And we're going to come back to that start position without putting our foot on the floor if you can. And we'll do that one more time. So it's a breath in. Exhale to extend. And then we open up nice and slowly. Keep those hands at shoulder height. Keep that foot following round behind you. Gentle pull up and pull in as we tip forwards. Lengthen through the limbs. And we're going to come back to that start point. Beautiful and graceful. And lower down onto the floor. Perfect. Give that leg a little shake out if you need to. We'll do the same on the other side. Remember, you can use a wall if you need to, for balance, or back of a chair. So, hands in prayer position, drawing up your other leg. It's a breath in. As you exhale, extending out in front. And again, we're going to open up through the arms. Draw that foot behind you. Don't let the back arch. And then we pull up and pull in as we start to tip forwards into our aeroplane. Keep open across the collarbones. Supporting leg is soft. A breath here. And we're going to come back to that start point, trying not to put that foot on the floor. And it's a breath in. Exhale to extend out in front. Opening up. Drawing that leg behind. Again, pulling up, pulling in as we start to tip. Lengthen through the limbs. Good, strong center. And we're going to finish where we started. Woo, without falling down. Brilliant. Well done. Moving on to the mat. So, I'm just going to redirect the camera a little bit. That's better. So just thinking about the equipment we need to get ready before we find ourselves on the mat. I've got a little towel, usual equipment. Every time I have the same stuff. Don't always use it, but anyway. A band, a belt. That's a yoga strap. You could use a TheraBand. And some hand weights, if you want to use them. Cans of food or proper hand weights, whichever works for you. You can also have like ankle weights if you have them and you want to use them. That's another option to make it a bit more challenging. So standing in our Pilates posture, feet lined up, knees pointing forwards, nice and tall, shoulders back and down. Breath in as we start to tuck the chin, round down through the vertebrae one by one. Keep those knees soft and try not to poke your bottom out. So we're rounding forward, so you're really having to pull in through the tummy to support yourself. But you can walk your hands down your legs if you need to. And it's a breath in at the bottom here. Get that nice stretch up the back of the legs. And we're going to restack. Bringing the vertebrae back up one by one. Shoulders back and down at the end, feeling nice and neutral and tall. Away we go again. So nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth as we round through the vertebrae. Try to get as much articulation. Really connect with what's going on with your spine. So you want to articulate those vertebrae. They should be moving independently. Nice and tall at the end. Ready to go again. So this is our third roll down. Let those arms hang nice and heavy and relax through the shoulders and the head and the neck. And when we're at the bottom of this last roll down, we're just going to stay here for a few breaths. So you can either just enjoy that feeling of stretch up the back of the legs, and then we can let those arms really hang heavy as you sway them from side to side. Keep the body still. We're just moving the shoulders, getting a bit of movement through the shoulder socket. And then we can nod the head as if you're saying yes, shake the head as if you're saying no. And then we're going to come down onto the mat into a seated position. And we'll do some rollbacks. So we're going to strengthen up the core, the abdominals here. So we're going to do a little variation with, first of all, we'll just do some half rollbacks with our hands behind the thighs. So just to mobilize the spine. Your feet are flat on the floor, they're hip distance apart. Your knees are in line, so don't let them flare out to the side. Just think about keeping them nicely in line. Neutral spine, nice and tall. Keep the shoulders down and back. As you exhale, you curl your tailbone under. You make a C shape through the spine and you come down halfway. And then it's the breath in. As you exhale, pull in through the tummy and draw yourself back up to neutral, nice and tall and neutral at the end. Let's go again. Exhale, we come down. We hold it while we inhale and relax through the shoulders. And then exhale, pull in that tummy button and draw yourself back up, nice and neutral at the end. So we've got an option to have the arms parallel to the floor. We're going to hold the band. Maybe you want to fold it in half so that you haven't got, great big dangly bits. Shoulder distance apart. Now lift those arms up a little bit. So we're lifting them up towards the ceiling, but the spine is neutral. Just gently pulling on that band. Breath in. Exhale. Pull the tummy in, going down into our C shape. And then again, just come down halfway. Those arms are, the shoulders are down and back. We're pulling gently on the band and then just drawing yourself back up. Keep the arms lifted. So that should help you take the shoulders out of the movement. We're working with just those abdominals now. Just come down as far as you're able to. Breath in. Exhale. Draw yourself back up. Can you feel that? I bet you can. Let's do another 3 or 4. Keep those arms elevated. Just come down as far as feels comfortable. Breath in. Exhale. Pulling in through their tummy. Keep the arms up. Keep pulling gently on the band. Exhale to go down. So we're exhaling to exert. We hold it as we inhale. Exhale to exert and draw yourself back up again. Last 2, I think. Last one we'll go all the way down onto the mat. Not this one. Breath in. Exhale, pulling in and up. The last one. Keep pulling on that band. We're going to go all the way down onto the mat now. Shoulders back and down. Nice and slowly. And the arms are just going to come up. Overhead. Nice stretch out. Lengthen those legs. Lovely. So we can get into our semi-supine position. We're going to do some upper body curl up here just to make sure you've got room overhead. You can extend those arms. So you might want to shuffle down the mat like I've just done. So let's find our neutral spine. So hands in a diamond shape. Make a diamond shape with those hands. So your thumbs and your fingers are together. We place the thumbs underneath the belly button and the rest of that diamond falls over your lower belly. So from here, we're going to imagine that you've got a marble in the middle of that diamond and you're going to roll that marble down towards your thumbs. And then you're going to roll that marble down towards your fingertips. So this is that, we were doing this standing earlier. And I said that you might find it difficult. If you find it difficult, do you find it easier when you're lying in a semi-supine position? Generally, people do, but you might still struggle. So just visualize that marble rolling towards your fingertips and then rolling towards your thumbs. But persevere, because the more you move, the more you will improve. It's a nice little ditty, isn't it? So we're rolling the marble north and south, and then we're going to find that middle point where the marble is just sitting still in the middle of the diamond. We've got a flat hand gap under your lower back. You pull that belly button down towards the spine without flattening the back, and you pull up your pelvic floor. That's our neutral spine. Reach those hands down towards your heels so that we're drawing the shoulder blades away from the ears. And we're going to do an upper body curl up. So good pull up and pull in through the center. And it's a breath in. As you exhale, lift the back of the head, raise the hands up and reach down towards your heels. And you're leading with the forehead. And then we lower the spine back down onto the mat. So be aware, what are you doing when you lift that back of the head off the mat? Are you lifting your chin up first? That's a no-no. So tuck the chin, lead with the forehead. Try to get your forehead in front of your chin. I know that sounds weird, but we want to start by tucking the chin, then we lift from the sternum and squeeze down towards the heels. Okay? Roll that spine back down. Breath in. Let's do that again. So really squeeze those bottom ribs down towards your hips. Try not to tuck the bottom under. We are curling up the upper body down to meet the lower body. You see what I mean? We're bringing the ribs down to the hips, not the other way around. Last couple. And when we're doing the 100, we do those little arm beats. This is where I want you to be. If you add in that upper body curl up option, if you're unable to have that line through your eyes, underneath your knees, if you find that your chin floats up towards the ceiling, then perhaps you're better off having, there's no perhaps about it, you're better off having your head, shoulders lying relaxed on the mat during the 100. So let's get ready for the 100 now. We have arm beats with the 100. We do 5 beats while you breathe in through the nose. And then you turn the palms to face the ceiling and you exhale through the mouth for 5 beats. And so you continue. So if you find that breathing pattern tricky, don't worry about it. Just make sure that you are breathing in and breathing out and you're not holding your breath. So we do those arm beats. So whilst we're doing those arm beats, we've got leg options. Choose one. So the first one is to have one leg in tabletop while you do those arm beats. And you're nice and strong in the centre to stop yourself from wobbling about. Then halfway through, I let you know, and you will change your legs over. That's option 1. Option 2 is to have both legs in tabletop for the whole duration of the 100. Option 2.5 is to extend one of those legs, and then halfway through you will swap over. And option 3 is to have both legs extended, straight legs, keep those knees nice and pressing away from you, zipping up those inner thighs, if you've got that straight leg option. And then you can lift your head and shoulders if you want to in any of those options. So we're going to do it now for real. So get your legs into your position of choice. I'm going to do level 2.5. I'm going to lift my upper body and we're going to breathe in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, halfway, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5, in 2, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Last 1, 3, 4, 5, out 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, hug those knees in. Roll your head from side to side. You could roll your knees from side to side, maybe the opposite way to your head. Will give you a nice release off. Excellent. We're going to do a couple of shoulder bridges next. So we can have the hand weights nearby if you want to use hand weights for our second shoulder bridge. Again, make sure you've got the room. So we're going to do something with the legs for the first one. So just make sure that you've got that space. You're not going to knock into anything. Feet flat on the floor. Knees are bent. We can bring those feet closer to the bottom when we do our shoulder bridge. So you almost want your heels underneath your knees. Nice pull up through the pelvic floor and scoop the belly button down towards the mat. Now just take a moment to draw those shoulder blades away, spread them out behind you. And we're going to just take a few breaths here to try and relax into the mat. No tension through the head, the neck, or the shoulders, or the hips. Deep breath in through the nose, exhale through the mouth. Let's do one more breath. Relaxing as you exhale. So from here, we're just going to peel the spine away from the mat. So we tuck the bottom under, press down with those heels, squeeze to the bottom, and come up into your shoulder bridge. So we should be nice and relaxed through the shoulders and the head and the neck. And we're just pressing down through those heels and squeezing through the bottom and keeping the ribs lined up with the front of the hips. So breath in, and we can do some heel lifts. So when we do a heel lift, we can do one heel at a time. And we're focusing on keeping elevated in our shoulder bridge, not overarching that back. We still keep those ribs soft. So we're still in a neutral spine. But as we lift one heel, we don't drop through the hips. That's the important point. So nice stability through those hips. And then we can lift one heel and the opposite toe. So marching feet, a little bit more challenging. And again, stability through the pelvis and a good form in our shoulder bridge. So we're just challenging that stability a little bit by doing those marching feet. So that's option 1 and option 2. Option 3 is a breath in. And as you exhale, bring your leg up into tabletop. And then we're going to cross the foot onto the knee and open through the hip. Keep those hips level. So this is a bit of a hip opener here. So just drawing down with that knee to open through the hips and pressing the other hip back up towards the ceiling. Let's take a few breaths here. If you've got tight hips, you might not like this very much, but just go with it. Then we're going to return both feet to the floor. Do the same on the other side. So breath in, exhale, bring that leg up to tabletop. And then we place the foot on the knee and open through the hip, but try not to twist. So we're really going to have to press that hip up towards the ceiling to keep them level while we are opening through the knee. And releasing off. Should we do one more on each side? So don't forget, you've got those heel lifts, you've got those marching feet, and then we've got this hip opener. Breathing into it. Let's do the other leg. Breath in, exhale up to tabletop. Opening. Press that hip up towards the ceiling, don't let it drop. Open through the knee and the hip. Last breath. Both feet on the floor. Let's return down onto the mat. One vertebrae at a time. Uncurling that tailbone at the end. Lovely. So we've got another shoulder bridge now for the arms. And we'll use the hand weights if you want, just to add a little extra. And we want to bring those shoulders down away from your ears. Feet are underneath your heels. And we're going to come up into that shoulder bridge nice and incrementally. So peeling that spine away from the mat, one vertebrae at a time. Get yourself into that nice shoulder bridge position where we've got soft ribs. We're not arching them up towards the ceiling. Press them down, funnel them in as if you're trying to tuck them into the front of your trousers. I know, some weird analogies, but they do work for some people. So let's grab those hand weights and we're going to bring the arms up towards the ceiling. So first of all, we're going to press those heels down and we're going to squeeze through the bottom so that we are staying in that lovely shoulder bridge position, nice and active. So don't just sort of start sagging down, keep active, okay? And arms up towards the ceiling. We're just going to spread those shoulders out behind you, underneath you. And then it's a breath in. As you exhale, we just reach those arms up towards the ceiling. And you can feel the back of your shoulders lifting away from the mat. And then we gently press them down into the mat. So it's a very fluid, flowing, gentle movement. protraction and retraction. So protraction up towards the ceiling, we're drawing the shoulder girdle forwards, and then we lower and press them into the mat. Elbows stay nice and neutral, straight. Again, if you've got hypermobility through your elbows are going to look a bit weird, so you just gently ease off so that they are straight rather than bending the wrong way. Last one. Are you still pressing down through those heels, squeezing through your bottom? Perfect. So shoulders are now down, and we're just going to go out 90 degrees. Lengthen those arms. As much mobility as you have available. Watch those knees, don't let them flare out to the side. Don't go too fast here. We want to go slow because we don't want to be using momentum to do the work for us. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen those limbs. Draw them back in. Now we're going to do some marching arms. So one arm up, one arm down. And again, think about the path that the arms are taking. It wants to be nice and straight up and down. You might find that that's difficult to get the hand onto the floor. That's fine. Last couple. Let's bring both arms overhead and gently return the spine down onto the mat, and the arms are going to arc back overhead. Perfect. Let's get rid of those hand weights. And we'll do some what shall we do? I've got on here to do the open book, and I think I want to do some more strengthening work. So we're going to do scissors, modified scissors, dead bug. Always good. So neutral spine, make sure you've got that little flat hand gap under the lower back. Nice pull in through the pelvic tummy, draw up that pelvic floor. So breath in, we're going to bring one leg up into tabletop, and then it's a breath in, and we'll bring that second leg up into tabletop. So this in itself is challenging, just staying here with that little gap under the neutral spine, hands down by your side. So think about the angle at the knee here, it's 90 degrees. We're going to keep that angle. It's a breath in, exhale, really fire up the core and touch the toe down onto the floor. Now, I'm not bending that knee, so really be aware of that. You should feel it very challenging. You really have to pull that belly button down towards the spine to fire up the core, to keep that spine in neutral. Reaching away. It's the hip that's moving, not the knee. Now we can do it with this 90-degree angle, or we can do it with straight legs. Hence why it's called scissors. Really firing up that core as you lengthen that leg away. Let's bring the arms up towards the ceiling. And its opposite arm and leg are going to come away from the center. The other arm and leg stay up. So you've either got that bent leg, that tabletop leg, or you've got the straight leg version. Make sure you're using the breath. Exhale to come away from the center. Inhale to return. And the Pilates box, your hips are not tipping forwards. Take a break when you need to. The movement of the legs is going to want to tip that pelvis. Keep it in neutral by engaging through your center. Let's do last couple. If you've got the straight leg version, you may want to lift the upper body And reach for your ankles. The shoulders don't switch from side to side. Your hips don't move. Lengthen that leg away. Pulling it in. Single straight leg stretch this is. Remember, you've got the other options. Last couple. And fold those knees in. Lengthen out. We're going to move on to our side lying exercise next. And we'll do some torpedo to strengthen up the side of the body. So we want straight line through the body. Use the back edge of the mat to do that. So hips are on top of each other, shoulders on top of each other. Long straight arm out underneath you. If that's difficult because you've got maybe shoulder issues, just bend the elbow, have the arm coming forwards a bit more, and bend the elbow and cradle the head that way. Then we place the towel between your ear and your shoulder just to help you line up through the neck a little bit better. So a little gap under that lower waist. So we're going to stay active now. So don't just collapse onto the mat. Legs are nice and straight. It's a breath in. As you exhale, send those feet away. Your legs are going to lift all by themselves. Hold it while you inhale and exhale to lower. Ready to go again. Breath in, exhale. Send those legs away from you. Hold it here and exhale to lower. So we can lie that top arm across the body. Exhale. If it's too wobbly, just bring that arm back in front to help you. And lower. Now I've got a movement for the arm to add in if you want. Breath in, exhale. So we're going to keep that leg lifted now, if this is the option you want to do. And we're just going to bring that arm across the body and do some arm circles. Up and over. Keep pulling in through the tummy. We're not going to lower those legs now. And we're just going to lift and lengthen and circle that arm around. It's going to challenge your balance. So don't forget, we could be doing those torpedoes with the arm in front to support you, or the arm across the body, or we're going to stay up and do the torpedo this way. Let's change direction of those circles. We're keeping those legs lifted. Take a break if you need to. Challenging your stability with these arm circles. Last couple. And keep the shoulder blades down the back as you bring the arm up and over. Last one. And lower those legs. Right. Staying here in the upper body, we bring the feet to the front corner of the mat. Now, bottom leg can either be bent, a little bit more stability, or you can keep it out long. And we could pull in through the tummy again, so nice and strong through the center as we lift that top leg to hip height. Now, we're going to send that foot away from you, so really lengthen that leg away. Top arm to support you, and we can do some leg circles. So the gap here stays long. The gap at the waist stays long. And we lengthen that leg away. And we do slow circles. So half a circle while you breathe in and half a circle while you breathe out. And the pelvis, the hips stay stabilized. We're relaxed through the shoulders. Nice deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. So lengthen that leg away. Don't go too fast. Slow it down. Feel those muscles around the hip joint working really hard, and your core's working really hard to keep you stable. Let's change direction now. Draw that leg behind you to get the glute firing up and work harder at the core as that leg comes in front so that you don't get pulled forwards. Last couple of circles. Excellent. Let us finish and change ends on the mat. So set your body up first. Straight line through the body, hips and shoulders stacked on top of each other. We've got the towel between your ear and your shoulder, your bicep. Little gap under that lower waist. And again, we're not going to collapse into the mat. We're going to stay nice and active through the waist. So it's a breath in. Exhale. Ooh, we send those feet away and then lift all by themselves. So good. Pull up and pull in. Keep strong here in the center and lower. Top arm to support you is option 1. We send those feet away. Inhale. Exhale to lower. So it's nice and slow. Breath in. Exhale. Lengthen those legs away. Place that top arm across the body if you want to. If that's too wobbly, keep it in front to support. So lengthen those legs away. Stay lifted through that waist. This is one where I always think you can really feel that the work is coming from this powerhouse. This is why it's called the powerhouse. And your upper body can just be nice and relaxed because it's not required. You're just sending all that work down the legs, out through the feet. So let's add in the arm circle. So inhale, exhale. And then we bring that arm across and circle it round. So, challenging your balance as you swing that leg around. And the legs stay lifted. So we're really pulling up and pulling in, firing up that core. Challenging our stability with those lovely arm circles. And the shoulder blades are staying down away from your ears. So we're still working on scapular stability. Let's change the direction of those circles for the arms. And again, staying nice and slow. So we don't forget those lower options if you want to. I'm just trying to give you choices. Last one. Do one more. And lower those legs. Whew. Right, what was next? Leg circles. So we'll bring those feet to the front. Again, bend that lower leg or keep it straight. Up to you. Hand on hip, hand in front. Again, up to you. We bring that top leg to hip height. Good pull in through the tummy. Keep the hips nice and stable now as we do those leg circles. So we are lengthening that leg away. It's not about bringing that leg up as high as you can because that's actually going to shorten through the waist. We're looking to keep that waist nice and long so that the pelvis is stable and we are just working through this hip joint. The back is neutral. We're not using the spine to do part of the work for us. We are using simply the muscles around the hip joint. So lengthen that foot away. Try to draw on the wall away from you. Half a circle while you breathe in and half a circle while you breathe out. So it's nice and slow and controlled. Let's change direction. Lengthening that leg. Nice straight leg. It's almost like you're trying to press the knee back, the back of the knee away from you, unless you're hypermobile, in which case you will just be gently lengthening. Last couple. Last one. Ooh, lovely. Let's just bring those knees in. So I've got some swan dive for us to finish up on, which is going to work the back, strengthen up the back muscles, back extensors. So use the towel underneath your forehead just to keep your face from squashing into the mat. And we've got 90 degrees at the elbow and 90 degrees at the shoulder. So it's like we're making a capital E shape with your head in the middle. Let those legs fall out gently to the side. Let the heels fall out so that you're nice and relaxed through the lower half of the body. We'll keep the forearms on the mat to start with, on the floor rather, the mat. Breath in. As you exhale, pull up and pull in. So you're really firing up the core as you elevate through the crown of the head and then come up onto your sternum, onto the bottom of your ribs. Breath in here. Exhale. And we lower. So nice and gentle. Don't aim to come up super high. Think about lengthening and don't lift the chin. We want to be tucking that chin, so we're looking down at the mat. Breath in, exhale to lower. So this is option 1. You may want to hold it up here for a few breaths, using your Pilates breathing as you hold the core engaged. Option 2 is to add weight. So we're going to lift the arms at the same time as the upper body. Breath in at the top, exhale, we lower. Now don't let those elbows tuck into the side. Keep them at 90 degrees if you can. Exhale. Inhale at the top, exhale to lower. So we've got another option. Exhale, we lift and lengthen through the crown of the head. Hold it while you inhale. Exhale, we extend those arms overhead. Inhale, we draw them back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, back to that start position. Think about the position of your elbows. Ready to go again. Elbows want to be at 90. Breath in. Exhale to extend overhead. Inhale, we draw the shoulder blades back and down as we then exhale to lower. Let's do another 2 or 3 of whichever option it is that you're working at. And as a last extension, if you are ready and willing to do some more, we're going to exhale to lift and lengthen. Hold it while you inhale. Exhale, we extend the arms overhead. Inhale, draw them back, and let's do another extension overhead while we stay elevated. Good, pull in through the tummy, protect that lower back, and lower. Last one, whichever option is your choice. And lower. Whew. So let's come on to all fours very slowly, very gently. From here, we're just going to gently arch the back up towards the ceiling. Press the spine up towards the ceiling. Let your head fall between your arms and tuck your bottom under. And then we're going to go into our cow. So we drop the belly, we lift the tail, and we keep those shoulders back away from your ears and look down at the mat. So we get a nice long neck. And we're still taking lovely deep breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. Let's go back into our angry cat. So press that mat away from you. back into cow. And we're going to find a nice and neutral spine. And we will walk those hands around to one side. So we get a nice side bend. A couple of breaths here. And then we can walk those hands around to the other side. Back to the center, we'll be doing thread the needle next. So draw the hand across the body, lower the shoulder, reach through. Coming back to the center, we do the same on the other side. Arm across the body, lower the shoulder, bend the elbow, reaching through. And back to the center. So we're going to open up those knees, keep the toes together, sink back onto your heels as you reach forward with your hands. Place your forearms on the mat and send your tail away in the other direction. Finally, coming back onto all fours, we're just going to do one last roll up to standing. So pop those toes under, walk the hands back, straighten up those legs, and start to restack. Coming back up to standing, where we have a nice deep breath in. Reach the arms up towards the ceiling and behind you as you press your hips forward. And then give yourselves a clap. Well done. Thank you very much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that. It should feel great now for the weekend. No Pilates tomorrow. We're having a day off, but there'll be more Pilates next week. I shall post up the links of my YouTube live thingy-jigs, and you can log on, hopefully, and I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Stay safe. Don't go out unless you have to. Let's keep going. Right, anyway, bye. Thank you.